Good evening, Dan. It's Wednesday, June 16th, 2010. Excellent video, but I again disagree with you. Shocking, I know. You made 3 points in your video. One, that that the health insurance mandate is within Congress's power to tax. Under the case you cited was U.S. versus Kahriger, in which you basically took some of the court's dicta out of context and made it read the way you wanted it to. The issue was whether or not a gambling tax, which had incidental regulatory effects, was unconstitutional. And the court found that if a tax has incidental regulatory effects, it doesn't violate the Constitution, so long as it also is designed to raise revenue. The fact of the matter is the court in that case found that the law taxing gambling was designed to raise revenue, and therefore, so long as it met that burden, it didn't matter if it had regulatory effects as well, it was still constitutional. This is different from the healthcare mandate, because the healthcare mandate is not designed to raise revenue, it's designed to force people to get health insurance. Ideally, Congress would raise no money from this tax, and everyone would buy health insurance. So I don't think the two examples are comparable to one another. In fact, had they ruled the way you interpreted it, then they would have overruled the court in the case that I cited. I can't remember what it was called right now, but the case that I cited, they would have overruled it, and they didn't. So it's still good law. It's essentially one of the most cited cases in constitutional tax law. So I would say that your interpretation is wrong, and the taxing power doesn't get Congress there. Secondly, you talked about you said that I said that healthcare was purely intrastate. I never said that. Healthcare is clearly interstate, and it doesn't even really matter because the Supreme Court has essentially read the Commerce Clause to apply to intrastate commerce anyway. It's so broad at this point that they can basically regulate any industry they want. So I never claimed that. I don't know where you got that from, but I agree with you. It's clearly intrastate, but my point is that it's not commerce. You're taxing people, or you're penalizing people, or whatever you want to call it, for not engaging in commerce, which is plainly unconstitutional. Congress only has the power to regulate commerce, not non-commerce. And lastly, your last point was you framed the issue like if you don't have health insurance, then you get it from the taxpayers, and I don't know how you framed it, but either way, that's completely irrelevant, because if they wanted to do it that way, then why don't they just tax people who use charity care? That would accomplish your goal, and that's not how they do it. I'm out of time. I will see you tomorrow.